Good morning, everyone. It's me, Rory Paddock for picksfromthepaddock.co.uk with today's tips live. So many meetings, so many races, and we cover pretty much most of them. We've at least got selections from every racecourse. If you've not seen already, got selections from Maidan and also all of today's TV tips. They'll be on our socials before 11:30, so make sure you check them out on either Facebook or on Twitter. But today is about races aside from what you'll see on TV this afternoon. And I am so excited to have turf flat racing back in the UK/Ireland over at the Curragh. And I have got quite a few that I like the look of over in Ireland. I've also got selections from Bangor, selections from Lingfield, and tonight's meeting on the all-weather at Wolverhampton. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Let's get these selections up and let's make sure that we go and bash the bookies today. So, first up, we have Bangor. There we go. We can see that obviously on the left-hand side. We've got selections from Curragh, Bangor, Lingfield, and Wolves. First one is a Trixie from Bangor, and I've gone there for Ed, keeper in the 123. You can see number one there, currently 8 to 11. Very short price, but short price for a reason. Sam Thomas has his horses absolutely flying, and I think it's safe to say that is definitely the one to beat in the 123. We'll then move down the race card. I think Walking the Storm has a chance if you're looking for another extra selection. But my second one in the Trixie is, keep scrolling, and we get to the 4:18, the penultimate race on the card. The even money favourite, Brian Hughes ridden. The Cinder Russell has a horses going well at the moment, and they like the look of Method to the Madness. There's a course and distance winner. It's won his last two starts. Obviously, it's gone up in weight, but only a couple of pounds for his last win. And this race doesn't look as competitive, perhaps, as it won last time out. Obviously, you've got to, it'd be foolish to underestimate the likes of Field de Lune and even the Venetia Williams horse, Penny Mallow. But Method to the Madness has what it takes to make it 3 wins in the span. And then in the final race, another course and distance winner. I've gone for Feel the Pinch. Was travelling really well last time out in what was a better grade of race. That was a Class 3 contest before falling not that far from home. The connections will be looking for the horse to atone for that. Now dropped in grade, certainly has a better chance, and I think 7-2 could potentially be a generous price. The horse has attracted support already, so I'd get on sooner rather than later before the horse's price goes. So those are my 3 for Bangor. Where are we going to go next? We're going to go to, let's have a look. Where should we go to? We're going to go to Lingfield. Afternoon meeting on the all-weather, and the first selection there. It's not something I'd normally throw up in terms of a selection. See the race cards here, the 145, the 220. I'm going to go to the 255 and see there. And RF, as you can see on the hand side of the screen, is reverse forecast. It's a 5-runner race, and I reckon Paddy's Day and Miss Mai Tai are the ones to beat. But genuinely, I'm struggling to decide which one of the two I prefer the most. So you know what? Let's take a risk. Let's go for a reverse forecast on Paddy's Day and Miss Mai Tai. Both probably got the most experienced jockeys in the race. Adam Kirby is a master on the all-weather. Massive fan of Danny Muscat as well. 7-2, 11-4. I think the pair of them have a decent chance. So why not stick him in a reverse forecast, and hopefully they can finish first and second in any order. Doesn't matter. But if they do that, then we'll end up raking in the money. I think I'm going to stick with Lingfield. I will indeed, and I'm going to go for a bit of a double. You can see there in the 405 and the 440. First up, I've gone in the 405, Kurdos. Massive fan of Clive Cox horses, especially the young horses, either 2 or 3. This one is unbeaten in his 2-year-old career, as is the rival, Zuki. Clive Cox deals with quite top-class talented horses, and although it's probably a bit harsh to say to the likes of David Evans, Phil McBride, George Bowie, and Richard Hughes, I just think he's more capable with younger horses perhaps a little bit more talented horses as well. Certainly seems like an open race. Conquistador is probably the one I fear the most, but Kurdos, I'm hoping, will remain unbeaten there in the 4:05. And then in the next race, Mashan is a course and distance winner. It went really close when second last time out. That was second behind Inarm, who runs again today. But this time, Mashan is £4 better off than he was that time with that rival. Certainly expect him to reverse the form. And if he does that, he shouldn't be far away from going one better this time around and picking up another course and distance win in the 4:40. That's Mashan there and Kurdos, both to go well in a win double there at Lingfield. Sticking with Lingfield, and I'm going to go to the 5:15 race. It's the final race on the card, I think it is indeed. And I'm going to go for a handicap debutant who I think could do a lot better than the bookies suggest. Ikari is currently 11-1, best price. I think that's quite generous. Not a massive fan of the stall in terms of being drawn in stall 10, but top jockey Rob Hornby on board. George Baker knows how to land a gamble. This looks like a really weak contest. Considering it's its handicap debut, I think it's more than talented enough, or it's shown enough in its run so far to suggest it could place once again. If it manages to pick up another top three finish, then I will take that place money at 11-1. Ikari to go well and do the business in hopefully the lucky last at Lingfield. So where do we go next? You know what? We're going to go to Wolverhampton. We're going to save the best till last. We're going to save the Curragh till the final few selections. And we're going to go, let's have a look what we've got here. Yeah, just 15 minutes later, the 5:30, you saw Brigadoon. Now, you'd probably presume I'd be going for number one on the card in the first race, Rory the Cat. However, I'm going to go against my namesake, and I'm going to go for the Stuart Williams trained Ross O'Ryan ridden. You saw Brigadoon, a really consistent horse, third of the last two starts. I think it'll progress further. I think now it's making its handicap debut. Let me just double check. Let's have a look there. Or was it its handicap debut last time? It was its handicap. Oh, sorry. It ran here at Wolves last time, finishing third of 12. Showed enough in that to say that it'll go close once again. Very taken by the fact it's got Ross O'Ryan on board. This race looks probably similar to what it finished third in last time. So in terms of level of class, it's about this. Again, wasn't far away. Anna Lee Last was the horse that won that time. I think it's probably capable of reversing that form. And I'm hoping that Ross O'Ryan doing the steering will see enough for that horse to finish with its head in front there in the 5:30. So that's you saw Brigadoon to win the 5:30 contest. Sticking with Wolves, and in what I think is the final race on the card, the 8:30. I've gone for another one at an each, this one at an each way price. I've gone for Inexplicable. Course and distance winner, Anthony Britton's horse absolutely loves it over this course and distance. Has a really decent record. Now on a decent mark as well. I think it last won off a mark of, if I can remember correctly, it won off a mark of 55. It's now below that last winning mark. All of the horses, well, the majority of the horses' wins have all come over course and distance. I think it's something like 4 of its 6 career wins have all come in terms of all-weather victories. Let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 of 7 career victories have all come over this course and distance. And I think Inexplicable, again, despite having a bad draw in stall 10, can overcome that. And 11-1 looks very, very generous in terms of the odds. So I'll be definitely jumping on that for an each way punt. Now, I did say I'm going to save the best till last, and the best till last is definitely coming over in Ireland at the Curragh this afternoon. Flat turf racing is back. I'm very excited for that. I know we've only just had Cheltenham, but this is my sort of preferred, I guess, what's the method of racing? What's the word I'm looking for? You know the word I'm looking for. I just can't think of it. Anyway, first selection comes in the 2:15. It's a really competitive, decent 5 furlong handicap. And I'm going to go with the horse that finished second in this race last year, and that is Swift Flight. You can see currently on screen it is 7-1. I think the horse has now weighted much better than it was last year. I think it's going to be able to reverse the placings with last year's winner. And look, the race is obviously really competitive. It's got some decent horses in there. But I'd argue that it's perhaps not as competitive as it was last year. And with that in mind, Swift Flight could look a ridiculous price at 7-1. I think the bookmakers have really underestimated its chances, and I'd be happy to grab some of that for each way money in the 2.15. Now, obviously on the card later, we've got the Irish Lincoln, where there's a couple that I actually like the look of. But if you want to find out who they are, you need to head on over to our socials, either Facebook or Twitter, and I will be putting up all my selections for every single race on the card at the Curragh over there. So don't miss that. But perhaps my bet of the day and my biggest sort of fancy, my biggest selection comes in the last race, the 5:37. It's a 17 runner, 6 furlong handicap, and I'm all about number 3 on the race card, Pretty Boy Floyd. The horse absolutely loves it over this course and distance. Whenever it's been soft or heavy over this course and distance, I think it's raced over this course and distance 6 times. 2 of those times it did absolutely nothing, but that was on good ground. The other 4 times when it was on either soft or heavy or yielding ground, really a bit of a bog. Basically, the bigger the bog, the better for this horse. It's won or finished in the top 4 or 5 in big runner handicaps, all of those occasions. The fact that Colin Keane jumps aboard, I think, is very telling. The horse's handicap mark is perfectly spot on for a really bold showing. Yes, it's drifted a little bit. Now, the only thing, and I'll be completely honest and transparent, is I'm not sure whether it's a negative or a positive that the horse is drawn out in stall 1. Ideally, I would have preferred the horse to be somewhere in the middle, so that could potentially have a major impact. But 14-1, the horse ticks plenty of boxes. Colin Keane's booked for the ride, which is obviously a massive plus. And I think Pretty Boy Floyd at 14-1, if the draw isn't going to hamper him, is definitely my bet of the day. Each way, obviously, especially if you've got a bookmaker paying first 5, maybe even first 6 home, that's the one for me that I'm going to be going all guns blazing on today. So those are my selections for today. If you are looking for, bear me a moment, make myself big screen. If you are looking for more selections, we're covering all of the ITV races, every race at Meydan, every race at the Curragh, plus these selections. Head on over to our socials. That's picksfromthepaddock.co.uk. If you're looking for our website, just type in Picks from the Paddock on either Facebook or Twitter. Or you can see there at the bottom of the screen here, follow us at Picks Paddock, and you'll be able to get all the info that you need. As always, any likes, comments, and shares, very much appreciated. And fingers crossed, touch wood, and good luck if you decide to follow.